Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the foreclosures. Are they coming? It's something that a lot of naysayers constantly talk about, and they paint this picture of doomsday. It's coming, just like 2008 and 9 or 7, 8 and 9, and all these crazy inflated values and home prices and the housing economy, all these things. It's all going to crash. Well, let's take a look at some of this deeper data and actually talk about why. I truly believe this has no chance in the near future. Now, I'm sure one day down the road, way in the future, yeah, could happen. Obviously, things go in cycles. But let's look at data today, and I'll tell you why, in my opinion, this pretty much has no shot of happening. So I want to bring up this graph. If you take a look at this thing here, on the left-hand side, and these bars. So the bars represent outstanding mortgage debt on primary residences in the United States. Now, I got this. I stole it, ripped it off from Chuck Cowan. So shout out to him from his Facebook post. But United States households own about $45 trillion in owner occupied real estate. If you look way over here, this is present day. You can see it's just below this bar, this horizontal bar right here, which is 30%. So that means that nationally, the loan to value is about 29% on owner occupied real estate. So that means that there is 45 trillion in assets. There's 13 trillion in debt approximately, which means the remaining $32 trillion is in equity, which is right here. These numbers, you can see it's 30,000, but obviously that's just to eliminate some of the room for zeros. There's actually $32 trillion in equity. So the loan to value, though, is actually barely ticked up from a recent low of 27.5%. But what this means is this gap here, the homeowners have on average $324,000 in equity. Now that's down from Q4, but it's up from 1 year ago. $324,000 in equity. This is where you just have to put common sense in place. Okay. Let's flash back to 15, 16 years ago. What was the difference? There was way too much inventory. You had people who were stretched way too far, but had nowhere to go. So the problem before is that if you're stretched too far and your house is underwater, meaning that your house is worth 300,000, but you owe 320, well, yeah, people just started leaving keys under the mat. There was no bailout. They were in debt. Their house wasn't worth what they paid, or it went down in value. They had no outlet to help themselves get into a better situation. Now, today in the United States, we have all-time high in credit card debt, right? Like everything is just blown out of proportion. Inflation is still high. People are spending and trying to use debt to pay for debt. Well, this is what's going to happen with housing. Do you really think about this for a second? Nobody wants to give up a 3% interest rate. They don't want to do it. But if it comes down to, hey, you either give up the 3% interest rate and refinance or sell your home and use all that equity or some of the equity to pay off other debt, put yourself in a better budgeting situation and hit reset for your family, would you do that? Or are you just going to throw your hands up like 15, 16 years ago and say, you know what? I'm out. I dug my hole too deep. I have no chance. I can't climb out of this. And it just is what it is. I'm going to rent. I'm going to file bankruptcy. I'm going to let it foreclose. I'm going to do whatever. Nobody in their right mind is going to do that because there's $324,000 in equity on average right now for each homeowner with primary real estate. So that's the answer. That's the graph. That's the true number that I wanted to share with you. I thought that was kind of cool and also important so people can get over this whole crash concept. There's too much equity in housing for people to just give all that equity to the bank and let them foreclose. And then the bank is just swimming like Uncle Scrooge in a bunch of pennies in a vault. It's not going to happen. So, lots of equity. That's going to prevent the foreclosure crisis. Now, if you could help me out, though, and not make me go into a crisis, and like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow, share, download, comment, DM, whatever you got, I would be greatly appreciative. And I hope you stay on the channel for more videos. Take care.